So how would you recommend, or how would you advise a crypto player, and particularly a non-gamer, to sort of like evaluate the gaming space?
So I guess like as a non-gamer, it might be a little more difficult to purely evaluate these games because you might not fully understand what makes a game good if you haven't been playing games your entire life.
So off the top of your head, what makes a game good? I mean, in the blockchain space, particularly in this stage of development.
Yeah. So I think good tokenomics, definitely looking at their tokenomics, seeing like how much investors have in, how much the team has in, the token unlocks, how much the game is printing in terms of like in-game currency to see if it's sustainable on that end. But more from like the gaming standpoint, some things you want to look for in a game is like, is it fun? Is it addicting? Does it draw you in? Those are definitely a few things. And then obviously, is there like decent or potential earning potential on that end? Those are more of like the game aspects. I think like probably the most important aspect in games in general though is the social aspect. So I think in pretty much every single like massive game that you see, the social aspect is just so big because everyone, like the reason why most people flock to a few games, and those are the ones that really take up the majority of the game shares because everyone's playing those games, right? Same like League of Legends. One of the big reasons why I personally liked League so much was that all my friends were playing it. So it's just easy for me to hop on and play with a bunch of friends, right? Same with World of Warcraft. And it does kind of give a network effect, right? It's like the bigger the game grows, the more likely more people will play it. And it's like kind of like a catalyst, right? So it's like you keep growing, and then once you get big, you just kind of like stay really big for a while because like there's just so many people playing the game and no one really wants to play a different game because no one else is playing the other games. So at least from the social aspect, I would say if you're not a gamer, just hop on the game to see, or look at the gameplay to see if there's really a good social aspect, because that itself could probably carry the entire game as long as like the other parts of the game isn't like absolute dog shit. So but yeah, if you're looking for some places to basically get an idea of if a game is a good investment, if it's good, you can read the 3DGG Twitter at 3D Gamers Guild. So we write content over at Play and Earn Games, and we give our thoughts and our analysis on if we think a game is good. And then we will also be doing YouTube content as well on that. So that's definitely a place to start. But like, in terms of just the overall like gaming metaverse sphere, I think that the potential in games is just like absolutely insane. It's going to be like way bigger than any other part of crypto actually. And my reasoning behind that is because crypto right now is mainly just for like investments, for like DeFi, and now it's like kind of breaking into art, NFTs. So it's kind of like adding more and more traction. But in reality, most people, like a lot of people don't even really invest. A lot of people don't even really care about that type of stuff. Like DeFi, like that's just so confusing to the average person. But what pretty much almost everyone in the world does, and like Google estimates there's 3 billion gamers. It's like everyone plays games. So I'm seeing this as like a huge onboarding process for people to onboard to crypto. And we already see this Axie. There's like 3 to 5 million people in the Philippines who just onboarded onto crypto because they heard about Axie and now they want to make some money. And I see that as like basically the biggest bridge over to crypto is through games. And that's why I started this gaming guild, and that's really my vision in this space.
Second question, what's your take on DeFi Kingdoms?
So personally, I like what DeFi Kingdoms is doing. Essentially, they just made DeFi into a game, and at least for an average user, it becomes a lot funner just because it's like, whenever you put money into like a pool, your like castle grows, or your plants grow, or your trees grow, or whatever happens in DeFi Kingdoms. So like Yeah, I think it's actually a really good interactive experience, and I actually think this is going to be a common theme in a lot of the new games, right? So you're going to be able to essentially be farming DeFi on these games, and you might not even really know that, like, you know, you're adding money to liquidity pool like that. You might just go to, like, you know, the marketplace in the game, and then it'll be like, oh hey, do you want to, like, you know, make some money on your game assets, like put in this game asset, and then you're like, oh sure, yeah, let me do that, and then like you just start making money. You're like, oh cool, like I can make money on my game assets, and that's like probably all you think about, right? You're not even going to be like, oh, like, is there impermanent loss, like wait, like what coins did I supply now? You're just gonna be like, okay cool, this thing's returning me some money, that's awesome. And that's probably going to be as deep as it goes.
Dude, I totally agree with your point about gaming being like this big onboarding process. Like, there's just something that's a lot more human about, I mean, the animation of games and having characters that people can relate to, and having a goal that people are trying to sort of move towards. I mean, you saw it with like how large just even the most simple games like Candy Crush, or I don't know if you ever played or got Facebook invites for Farmville. So out of everyone sending me invite after invite for Farmville, I'm like, dude, everyone like is addicted to this game so much that they'll bug people they don't even know that much to like, please send them some tokens for, so like whatever, farm more chickens or however you do that. But it's
actually, no, I think Farmville is a really good example of why DeFi Kingdoms is a really good game, right? Because in Farmville, like, what are you doing? All you're doing is just like planting crops, making your farm nicer, adding some like cows and stuff, right? And it's like, it's fun because you're building up something, right? People like that progress in games. I think that's really what makes DeFi Kingdoms alluring. It's like, oh, you know, as I add some more money to this pool, or as I create a new pool, I start to have a bigger kingdom, you know? Like it's that like consistent growth that really attracts people to games. I think this is like what mobile games do the best at, is they, you know, essentially they allow you to have like, you know, 30 minutes, an hour of playtime a day. So you don't really get overboarded. You play like 30 minutes, you play an hour a day, and then you have to wait till the next day to recharge your energy unless you pay some money. And basically what that does is, you know, you'll play like every day, maybe 30 minutes, and then you slowly progress. Like after a year, you're like, you look back and you're like, wow, like my base is like really awesome now. And then you're like, and then that also makes you more dedicated to the game because you've just spent so much of your time on it, and you don't really want to stop at that point, right? So mobile games are like the perfect avenue for that, because they can just send you a push notification, and then you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that game. Let me go back and play.
Yeah, that's what makes Facebook sort of like the perfect onboarding for this too. Like you mentioned, the social aspect of these games are so important, and if it's sort of like naturally you have this game on top of Facebook where I already have my entire network which I can bug people to kind of help me with it and like be involved as well. I think that's one sort of hurdle that blockchain based games are going to need to figure out, is like, how do we onboard people and get people onto these systems to start playing? Because if there's too much friction involved, then people just aren't going to do it, I feel like.
I think so too. And really, like, I think what a lot of games are doing, like the email logins, is really dope. So where essentially, as a guild, we can connect the wallets to the game, and then you also connect your wallet to your email. But then you don't actually need to log in using the crypto wallet or anything. You just log into the game using just like your normal email ID, your normal password, and then you can go play the game. And that's like one easy onboarding process to basically like catalyst people through the crypto wallet part. That definitely, like, if you're not coming into crypto, I think that's actually, if you're not coming from crypto, that's a huge barrier to overcome. It's like, oh, I want to play this game. It's like, oh wait, I need to download MetaMask. Like, what's MetaMask? And then like, oh, I have MetaMask installed. It's like, wait, I need to be on the Binance Smart Chain. Like, what is that? And they're like, they get Binance Smart Chain on. They're like, oh wait, how the hell do I transact on here? I need BNB. Yeah, so like, it's definitely like, it's such a difficult process, even for like crypto natives. Sometimes it's really annoying for us, because like, you know, DeFi Kingdoms is on Harmony, for example, right? It's like, I don't have access to Harmony on any of my exchanges. Like, how the hell am I going to get money to Harmony? It's just like, I need to go around, maybe ask someone, do a trade, bridge some money over. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of issues there. But I think like one thing big time, which is a game that I'm really looking forward to, like one thing that they're doing super well is they actually integrated credit card and banking into their game along with crypto. So they're hitting every avenue. I think that's huge for easier acquisition, in a sense that now you can basically get onboarded to the crypto space just by using your credit card or a bank account. It's kind of like big time is kind of going to be like an exchange in a way. It's like an on-ramp fiat to crypto exchange. So that's like one thing I think they're doing really good, and why I'm super bullish on what big time can do.
Sounds good. Definitely want to check out big time. Yeah, user experience is key, really. All right, well, thanks a lot for sitting down with us, David. We're gonna check out 3D Gamers Guild and your personal crypto, the crypto CPA. And anything else that you want to sign off with?
Thanks for having me on the first ever Plum Talk.
First Plum Talk, guys.
And for doing this.
And I'll be sure to just let you guys know from like my viewer base as well that what you guys are about. And we'll just go from there. Good stuff, guys. I'm really happy to make this with you guys, and also just to start educating people in the crypto space or in like the real world space, actually.
Yeah, sounds good, man. We'll catch up again.
All right. Take care, guys.